friends, Valeria here from Chase and Paper, and today we are going to make something really fun. We are going to add a pop-up to our junk journal. So here's my junk journal and I'm opening that up, and we have a beautiful Victorian mansion popping up with the girl and her doggy right on the front of that mansion. Ready? Let me do it again. Magic. It just pops up and it sort of brings the history to life, because all of a sudden we get this pop-up element. There, I could just keep doing it, but I won't. Instead, I'm going to show you how to make this. Before we start, do me a favor and please give this video a thumbs up. I promise you will like it. And please subscribe to my channel if you hadn't subscribed yet. It's really going to help me grow. And also, I appreciate if you could share this video with your friends or with your crafting group on Facebook or elsewhere. All right, so let's see how we make this pop-up element. So first we're going to find a place where we want to add our pop-up. I'm working with this Victorian themed junk journal. I call it Jane Eyre. It's inspired by Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. And it is one of the best Victorian romances. It's a true classic, in my opinion anyway. So this is very Victorian themed, and I think I'm going to add a pop-up right here. This page is a kind of plain, and I can open this very stuffed journal pretty straight right here. So that's important. You have to find a place in your book that you can pretty much open wide. So now that I chose the place in my book that I'm going to add my pop-up, I have to think of what kind of a pop-up I want to add. And I think I'm going to add a Victorian mansion, Victorian style house. I have this book. Let me move that aside. I have this book here. It's Victorian Houses by Edmund V. Gillon. And so basically the book contains pictures of photographs of various Victorian buildings, Victorian houses. And so, yeah, these are pretty cool, but don't feel like you have to have this book right here. You don't have to have this book. Honestly, you have to choose. It's whatever you'd like to add as a pop-up into your book. I just feel like a house will add a nice touch to my project, but it really could work with any theme, with any project. You can use your scrapbook paper and cut out shapes. You can do some freehand drawing and add in there. It really doesn't matter, whatever you like. Or you can look into your magazines. Magazines are a wonderful source. Magazines, children's books have beautiful illustrations that are just perfect for pop-ups. So you get the idea. You choose whatever goes well with your book, with your junk journal. So I'm looking for something maybe a little smaller, because my journal is not very large. So I'm gonna go with this. I'm just looking at the image of the house. It seems smaller than the other houses in this book. So yeah, so I'm gonna go with that, and I'm gonna tear this page out. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to mat it onto a craft cardstock, because this page is pretty thin and flimsy, and for a pop-up piece we need something stronger, like a cardstock strength. I'm going to use my Scotch Create glue stick, and I am going to flip that over and cover this whole entire area with glue and mat it onto this craft cardstock for added strength. There. Now that I attached my picture, my whole book page basically, to the cardstock, I might give it a minute to dry. And now that my glue is dry, I am going to cut out the house from this picture. Right, I'm only cutting out the house itself. I'm cutting along the side of the porch. And we'll see how much of this image will actually fit into my book when we put it in. There, the house is now completely cut out, and we are ready to move on with our next step. So now we are going to fold our picture in half. So choose where you want to place your hold. It has to be somewhere about in the center, but it wouldn't look right with this picture if I were to fold it exactly in the middle. So I'm going to fold it slightly to the side, maybe somewhere right here. Our fold has to be nice and sharp. So I'm going to use my bone folder to make a crease like that. There, I'm pretty happy with that. Nice and crisp crease. This is very important to make sure that our fold out, now our pop-up element works properly. And now I need to add another fold line. It's going to be about 1 inch from the bottom, just a straight line, about 1 inch. Here I'm just going to use it instead of my scoreboard. Use my stylus to make a straight line there. Very good. So this fold is going to go inside like that. Again, I'm using my bone folder to make sure that this fold is nice and crisp. Very good. Next, go to move you closer, and right here I'm gonna fold it again, and I'm going to cut this little corner off up to my folded line at the 45-degree angle. Now I'm not going to measure, but it's pretty easy to make a 45-degree angle. It's just a half of your right angle, right? So this looks pretty good. This is what it looks like when I open it up. There you are. Now your pop-up element is ready, and we are going to place it into the book. So here is our page that we want to make sure that element fits into, and I'm going to go slightly, to the top of the page. So I'm not going to place it to the bottom or middle. I'm going to go to the top. This way I still have all this room here for writing or collaging or whatever you like to do. And how am I going to place it? Now, first of all, we want to make sure that it fits, that this house fits into the book when it's folded. And I think we're in good shape here. So I'm going to add the glue to my flaps. Now my flaps are going to be in the back. See how they are? In the back, so that only the house is visible when my picture is popped up. I'm gonna go with Scotch Create glue stick, and I'm going to put some glue only on one flap. This flap right here. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I'm going to use a scrap paper here to make sure that I don't get my glue anywhere else, and I make sure that I have very good coverage. So there, I added some glue. And now this is very important. So make sure you align the fold on your card, on your pop-up mechanism. Make sure that you align this center fold with your fold on your paper, like that. And I'm gonna go all the way to the top here. I'm going to angle it. See my angle? Like that. Bringing my house all the way up here, and I'm pressing it down. I'm happy with the way it aligned, so I am pressing this flap down here and making sure that it really sticks before I do anything else. And you see this little corner is sticking out. That's okay, we're going to cut it later. We're gonna cut it off, and it's not going to bother us. No big deal. There, it seems to be sticking very nicely now. So next, I'm going to apply glue on this flap now, right here. See my flap? So yeah, I'm going to apply glue to this flap. It's just a glue mat and a scrap paper, so I don't get the glue anywhere else other than that flap. Here we go now. Nice, good coverage. So now I am going to simply close this page and let it find where it needs to stick. All right, so I'm just gonna do the paper do its magic, and it's going to find its right place in the world. There, hold it down, press it down firmly. Might want to wait a minute here. All right, I think that's good. Let's wait for the glue to dry a moment. And ta-da! Our Victorian house is popping up. That looks neat, don't you think? Let me see. Let me try to angle this camera so that you can see it. Book is closed. Book opens up. There. Now, as you can see, I did not wait long enough, and my glue is coming off, so I'm going to fix and add a little glue to the flap. Okay, very good. So now that I added a little more glue and it's dry, and now it's standing up very nicely. Everything is stuck at the right places. And so what I want to do next is I want to cut out this little, just snip off these little extras. Do you see them sticking out from the page on top? Well, we're just gonna come along with our scissors and just cut it off. There, I did it on this side. And now I'm gonna do it on this side. See, just a little bit right here. There, problem solved. Now you may notice that it is also sticking out just slightly, just a little bit right here on this side. I'm not going to cut it off because I have my, ruffles in this journal sort of extend and cover that up. So I think I'm just gonna keep it. But if that bothers you, you could always come back with your scissors and just kind of cut it off, this little piece. All right, so this is our main pop-up mechanism. It works great. It looks nice. But now I think I want to take it to the next level and add a little something right here on the foreground. So let me show you how I do that. All right, let me get our paper dolls. And I'm looking for something small, something that's going to go nicely with the size of this house. Of course, the doll can be a little bigger because the doll, our person, is going to be on the foreground. So, but still, I'm not going to go with something this large, right? I'm going to go with something of about this size. I think it's going to look really good. So these are a couple of choices. And I think I'm going to go with this little girl and her dog. Now, so we are going to create a little strip that's going to anchor this piece to our main mechanism. So I'm going to use that same craft paper that I used before, and as you can see, I cut off a strip. It is about 3/4 inches wide, or about an inch wide. And this is too big. I don't need it to be that big, so I'm going to cut it in half. If you want to know how many inches I just cut off about 4 inches, 4.5, 4.25. Now it's 4. So I'm going to fold it in half. And now I'm going to fold it in half again, thus creating a little, almost a cube. See that? Sort of looks like a cube. There, so my folds are nice and sharp. Let me go over those creases with my bone folder, because again, this is important for everything to function properly. And I am going to glue one side of my cube onto the bottom here. And let me just use my art glitter glue for this. All right, so I am butting it in all the way here, all the way. It's touching my house. On this side, I'm aligning it with my house. There, pressing it down firmly. See that? That side is aligned with my house and it's glued down. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this flap right here. And I'm going to glue it onto the house itself. So I'm folding it this way. Can you see? And sticking it to the wall of the house there. Now I'm pressing firmly. And I am closing my page to just let it stick. All right, let me open that up. Very good. We got a nice good grasp on that. And now I'm going to add my girl and her dog right here on the front. So let's put a little bit of glue on this forward facing flap that we just created. And let us stick our characters right on the front. I'm making sure that dog's paws and her feet don't quite reach the ground, because this way it's going to make sure that it's going to help us to make sure that our pop-up still works properly and nothing's getting caught. So let's close it again. All right, let's open that up. Ta-da! Now we have this beautiful house with a girl and her dog in front of it. There. Can you guys see it? Isn't that beautiful? So now we have our Victorian house and a little girl in front of it with her dog. There. So even though it seems like it might be a daunting project to add a pop-up to your junk journal, it's not. It's really fun. It's easy. Of course, it's one of those things that comes with skill and with experience. The more of them you make, the easier it gets. Sky is the limit. You could add more elements on the foreground or on the background, and you can make it as elaborate as you wish or as simple as you wish. And of course you can use the same idea for making greeting cards for the next event for your family and friends. So I hope you guys like this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did like it. Please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.